Hey guys, it's Owen from Wrestling Inc. back with another wrestling news roundup. Without any further ado, let's get into today's biggest stories in the world of professional wrestling. Backstage news on new Roman Reigns deal. Roman Reigns has signed a new deal with WWE, which will see him work fewer dates for the company, according to Dave Meltzer on the latest edition of Wrestling Observer Radio. Roman Reigns had got the wrestling world talking last week during a live event when he teased that his WWE career was coming to an end. But it appears that the comments he made about not being sure if he would be back is because he's set to work fewer dates in the future. That is because the new deal Roman has is set for him to have fewer live event commitments. During a recent interview with the Michael Kay show, Roman Reigns admitted that he does have interest in getting involved in Hollywood. He is hoping to use the tools that he has learned in wrestling to help his potential career in the movie business. Quote, "We will have to see. I think there's going to be some moves made here pretty soon," Reigns admitted. "There's always speculation and contract talks. All that question of it is my business. People who can dive deep enough, I'm sure they can turn enough stones to figure out the time frame. But that is something I definitely want to dabble in and gain more experience. I want to use these tools that I have learned. WWE has done so right by me. They've given me so much and placed so many great blessings and opportunities in front of me, and I've just had to capture them. I've just had to grab that ball and run with it. I like to think that along the way I've picked up so many skills, I've experienced so many things, and they are going to help me." Backstage news on Charlotte Flair being written off WWE TV. As noted earlier, WWE announced that Charlotte Flair suffered a fracture of the radius during her I Quit match against Ronda Rousey at Sunday's WrestleMania Backlash. Following the announcement, Fightful Select reported that the injury is, quote, "very much a storyline angle to write Flair off WWE television." It was further noted that Flair was taking time away from the company. In an update, Brian Alvarez of the Wrestling Observer reports that Flair is getting married soon and requested time off from WWE prior to Sunday's event. Flair recently revealed that her wedding to AEW star Andrade El Idolo is set to take place this summer. Quote, "We have a date, it's this summer in Mexico, I have my dress," Flair told BT Sports' Ariel Helwani. "I think Manny would be a little angry if I walked down the aisle with my title. He was like, 'Miami for the wedding, I do not want your hair to look like Charlotte.' I was like, 'What does that mean? Just less makeup, he likes the fresh face.'" After announcing Charlotte Flair's injury Sunday, Caleb Braxton asked fans to check WWE's website for regular updates regarding the Queen's condition. The Bloodline stand tall at WWE WrestleMania Backlash. The Bloodline were able to stand tall at the end of WWE WrestleMania Backlash, picking up the victory against the team of RK Bro and Drew McIntyre. Roman Reigns and the Usos joined forces to take on the Raw Tag Team Champions and Drew McIntyre in the main event of the latest premium live event. It would be the Tribal Chief who scored the pinfall over Riddle to get the victory for the Bloodline after connecting with a spear. Despite spending large chunks of the match trying not to get involved, Roman did end up taking out all of his opponents. The Bloodline leader sent Drew through the announce table with a rock bottom, and he followed that up with a Superman punch to Randy Orton. He showcased his dominance in the end, being able to prove why he's the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. This continued the Bloodline's dominance recently, although none of the titles were on the line in this match, despite WWE originally building a unification match with the tag team titles. That stipulation was taken away in the end. Because of that, the defeat to the Bloodline does not change anything for RK Bro. Elsewhere on the show, Ronda Rousey was able to become the new SmackDown Women's Champion. WWE also announced an injury to Charlotte Flair after that. Meanwhile, Cody Rhodes also secured another victory against Seth Rollins. WWE WrestleMania Backlash ultimately closed out with the Bloodline standing tall with all of their gold. Edge's stable gets a new member at WWE WrestleMania Backlash. Edge was able to secure another victory over AJ Styles at WWE WrestleMania Backlash, this time with the help of the latest member of the Judgment Day faction, Rhea Ripley. The former Raw and NXT Women's Champion has joined forces with the WWE Hall of Famer during his match against AJ. Edge was competing in a rematch from WWE WrestleMania 38, and once again he was the man who had his arm raised. Much like at Mania, it was AJ Styles who dominated the majority of the contest. The Phenomenal One appeared to have things wrapped up as he headed to the top turnbuckle to hit a modified Phenomenal forearm due to his shoulder injury, but this led to Damian Priest appearing at ringside, despite the fact that he was banned. Edge's right-hand man turned up but purposely stood far away, enough not to break the rules. Finn Balor then appeared, evening the odds as he brawled Priest away from the ring, but Edge had another ace up his sleeve, as a masked wrestler pushed AJ Styles off the top rope. This then led to the man who sits atop the mountain of omnipotence getting the victory. After the match, Edge revealed that Rhea Ripley was the person underneath the mask. Cody Rhodes continues his undefeated run at WWE WrestleMania Backlash. Cody Rhodes was able to walk away with his second victory over Seth Rollins at WWE WrestleMania Backlash in the opening match of the Premium Live event. The American Nightmare kicked off the show in a rematch from his WWE WrestleMania 38 encounter against Seth Rollins. Despite Seth knowing who his opponent was going to be this time, it was still Cody Rhodes who picked up the victory. This time, the victory came via a roll-up, with Cody keeping a hold of Seth's tights for the victory. It was another brilliant match between the two, and Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins arguably stepped up a notch this time around too. Rollins was able to reverse and counter a lot of what the former AEW star was able to bring to the table this time. Cody still got some huge shots in though, including a major superplex. Seth also brought plenty of offensive moves, and at one point he almost got the victory when he nailed a pedigree. But although despite his best efforts, the former WWE champion was not able to get the victory, this continued Cody Rhodes' undefeated run since he returned to the company, with the American Nightmare yet to be beaten. Cody Rhodes teases Money in the Bank winners main eventing WrestleMania. During Sunday's WrestleMania Backlash Premium Live event, a promo aired for this year's Money in the Bank, with Cody Rhodes hyping up the July 2 event at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. In the commercial, Rhodes hinted at this year's Money in the Bank winners could be able to challenge the main champions at next year's WrestleMania 39. Quote, "One lucky male and female superstar will win the chance to main event WrestleMania," Rhodes said in the promo. Traditionally, the winners of the Money in the Bank matches have earned a contract for a championship match that they can cash in at any place or time of their choosing for up to a year. At WrestleMania 31, Seth Rollins became the first WWE superstar in history to cash in the briefcase at the Showcase of Immortals. You can watch the Money in the Bank promo video on social media. Cody Rhodes can be heard speaking about the Money in the Bank winners main eventing WrestleMania, starting at around the 54-second mark. So what are your thoughts on today's Wrestling News Roundup? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Be sure to like and subscribe to Wrestling Inc. and I'll speak for you again very, very soon.